Marcus, welcome to the Perth International. It's great to have you here with us as the most recent European Tour winner. It was a huge week in Malaysia for you.
Yeah, it was good. It was pretty much out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting that at all. I think on Tuesday, after the practice round, I went and looked at flights for Friday afternoon to go back to Melbourne because I thought I was had no chance of making the cut while I was playing. So it was a pretty quick turnaround, and all of a sudden I was right there on Sunday. So yeah, something I wasn't expecting, but very thankful that it happened.
Okay, how are you feeling coming into this week? Because I know sometimes it can be hard after having such a huge high of a win to back up the following week, but obviously we saw Rummy do it a couple of years ago. So
yeah, I think after the Middle East, I was pretty lost with where the game was at, and then I did some good practice in the week off before going to Malaysia, and could see a few things that getting some direction back, and then got to Malaysia and it wasn't quite running as well as I would have liked, and then all of a sudden as the week went on, it got better and better, and now I feel really good about my game. It feels like I've got some direction back, and I'm as keen as ever to obviously come out and play this week, but for the rest of the year now, I was all of a sudden pretty excited with the schedule that I've got now. So, yeah, definitely can't wait for this week to kick off. I love the golf course, and just played 9 holes just before, and it's in perfect condition. So it's always a good week here, that's for sure.
Okay, questions, Rod?
Marcus, you've been playing this game for a while. What's that about? How can you on Tuesday book a flight for Friday, and on Sunday you're holding the trophy?
Yeah, I think it's just a bizarre game. It's a game that we obviously love, and it keeps kicking us in the guts. But then, even though when it kicks you, you still want to get back out there and improve at it. But, yeah, it was. I went and looked at those flights, and I thought I had no chance of being there on the weekend. But then all of a sudden, did some more practice on Wednesday. I could see a few little signs that was starting to progress in the right way. And on the Thursday, I came out and played great. It surprised myself that it turned around really quickly, and that gave me a lot of confidence for the rest of the week, really. And then, although I didn't play as well as I would have liked on the weekend, I chipped and putted as good as I've ever chipped and putted, and that got me through in the end. But yeah, it's a crazy game that throws up surprises every time we pitch up. Even I've been in Europe for 14 years now, and it still throws up surprises along the way, that's for sure.
And specifically, what were the issues last week that you had to struggle?
Basically just lost complete awareness of my alignment. It sounds really basic and simple, and it is. I'd stand there and look down the middle of the fairway thinking I was aiming there, and I'd be aiming in the right rough of the right trees, and then I was starting to make allowances in my golf swing to square everything up through the ball. And you're going to hit some good shots, but more often than not you're going to hit some pretty average ones, and that's what I was doing. And then in obviously trying to fix that, I had to basically spend quite a bit of time on the range creating that awareness of aiming further left to just to compensate, and just to imprint it in my brain that I was fixing that alignment issue, because it was pretty severe, and I was getting aches and whatnot through my body just because I was putting so much pressure on manipulating a golf swing to fix up the alignment issues. So it was all a bit weird, but thankfully we worked it out pretty quickly, and it turned around really quickly.
Marcus, do you feel the attention on you coming into this week? Does it put any pressure on you as opposed to last week where you sort of had a free swing at it? Do you feel a bit more attention now and pressure to perform?
Maybe, yeah. I think obviously the pleasing thing is you rock up to the course today, and a lot of mates here that congratulating us. So I think the nice thing that a lot of guys congratulating for last week. But yeah, I think there might be. I think obviously my world ranking went up to I think about 62 after last week. So we've obviously got Louis Oosthuizen here, and he's obviously a world class player and major winner. So I think obviously the attention's going to be on him all week. But obviously being a winner last week, there's going to be a little bit of attention there. But I think it's just nice to be home and playing golf in Australia. That's the pleasing part.
When your confidence does hit rock bottom like it did leading up to last week, does it ever cross your mind that it's time to step away, or does anything like that into your mind?
I think we're obviously competitive people, sports people, that when things aren't going well, you want to fix them and you want to get it right, because no one likes to play. I mean, the way I played in the Middle East was as bad a golf as I played a 3-week stretch in my entire career. It was just awful, and I went away from it very lost. But we're competitive people. I wanted to fix it, and I wanted to spend some time on the range and get into it and work out why these things were happening, and luckily enough I did. But yeah, I think we're just at the end of the day, we're competitive people. When something's not right, that you want to fix it, you want to get better, and you want to improve. And that was, in a nutshell, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Just at the back.
It's a long time between wins, so to hold your nerve there at the end, a couple of long putts, does that change anything for you now?
I think, yeah, obviously coming back to the confidence, like knowing, I mean, I've been in that situation. I feel like I've blown my fair share of tournaments over the last however many years, and I've had my chance to win quite a few tournaments, and I haven't done it. So there's a lot of doubt there that starts creeping in your mind. Can you actually do it? And to go and make those, I think the putt on 17 was just as big as the putt on 18. I felt, because that kept me level with him going up the last, and you know, he was starting to get quite jumpy. I mean, I was very nervous myself, the first to admit it. I remember looking down at the ball for the putt on 18 for par, and I looked down, the putter head was just moving around all over the place, shaking, like looked like I was holding onto a snake that was out of control in my hands. It was a bit, but somehow I made contact with the ball and it went in. But you know, I think the biggest thing for me that week was just those last few holes. I just committed to the process that, you know, I had in place, that, you know, I was going to try my very best to hit whatever shot it was, and luckily enough it worked for me. But yeah, it gave me a lot of confidence last week, probably the most amount of confidence I've had in my entire career. Being able to hold a couple of putts like that to win a golf tournament is why, you know, why I spent all that time practicing and get back into that position.
Do you feel different now leading into this tournament as opposed to tournaments gone by, knowing that you've had a win?
Yeah, definitely. It you know, even though I won last week, I think you could get very complacent and just pitch up and have a hit of golf. But I'm probably hungrier this week to go out and play well. And you know, that was my third European Tour victory last week, but I want to make it 4 victories as quick as I can. You know, they've got the juices going for sure, and you know, definitely gives you that boost of confidence to know that I still can do it. But yeah, yeah, as keen as ever to play this week, and can't wait for the tournament to start.
2 previous wins, can you remember what you did in the next tournament after them?
I think I probably missed the cut in both of them, I think, to be honest, but I probably got hammered, that's why. But no, it's been very quiet the last few nights, which has been good. We're going to catch up with a few boys tonight, so it might be a little dusty for the pro-am tomorrow. That's all right, it's the way it goes.
Obviously, it's rare that players back up and win the following week.
Yeah.
Do you speak to Rummy at all about what he did and his able to do it?
Yeah, I haven't seen Rummy yet, so yeah, I mean, what he did, I think a few years ago, winning back-to-back events. So, the first one, I wore the Brunswick, I was in the playoff with him for the first one. But yeah, for someone to go and back up and win the next week, it's pretty impressive. It's very, very rarely has it been done. So, you know, I think for me, obviously I want to go through the process of trying to get everything in order again this week for those last 9 holes to hopefully have a chance at you know, trying to win this week. But there's a lot of work to do before that happens. It's just a matter of getting things in order to try and be in the mix with 9 holes to go, because if that's the case, I feel like I'm as good a chance as anybody. If you know, you're around the lead, I feel like, you know, I can now draw on a few experiences that I've had. So.
The golf is pretty prepared for weather, because I think Thursday could be late 20s and then Friday could be high 30s leading into Saturday. Does that come into play at all for your preparation? Yeah, I mean, we always look at obviously all the factors that come into it. So you know, obviously different wind directions and how the course is going to play in the different wind directions. And you know, the greens out there at the moment are pretty quick. Well, they're very quick, but they're a little bit soft, so you know that they're going to dry out throughout the week. And try and speak to a few of the referees and find out what they're going to do with the greens. I don't give too much away, but it seems like they're going to try and dry them out a little bit and keep the same sort of pace. So if they do dry out and they do keep it the same pace, it's going to make a pretty tough golf course, which you know, which I like. I like the course that you really got to try and manage your game and just plod your way along and you know, kind of manufacture a score out there, which you know, which this course does, because it's such a great golf course.
Do you have any final questions? Yeah.
It's the extra carrot is what for you is, now that you're 62 in the world, is cracking that top 50 going to Augusta.
Yep.
Is that in the back of your mind?
Yeah, definitely. It's right at the front, I think. It's you know, at the start of last week, it couldn't have been further away from thinking about that, but now all of a sudden it's been thrown in front of me, and it is what it is. And you know, a few years ago, I think I got to 51 in the world, never got inside the top 50. So
you were like a fraction of a point, but was 0.2 of a point.
Yeah, so you know, if I go and play well this week, off to Doral next week, and then hopefully the match play. So then there's a cut-off after that, I think, for the Masters. So now at the end of the day, it's up to me to prepare properly for each week that I turn up for, and do the very best I can to. It's a great opportunity to. I've never played the Masters, and it's something as golfers we all dream of doing. So it's yeah, I mean, it's obviously right in front of me now. So I've got no one else to blame if it doesn't happen, and it's entirely up to me to try and do everything I can to prepare properly to try and get one of those spots.
Apart from the work you need to do week to week, day to day on the swing, with the issue you had with your hand and certainly neck, is there ongoing work you need to do to make sure that those parts of your body remain working in good shape?
Yeah, just general movement stuff that you know, as you can probably see, I'm not the most athletic person. I'm not that keen on going to gyms and that kind of stuff, but there's just stuff that general maintenance that I have to do to maintain some movement in the spine and that kind of thing from the neck, and just a few little exercises. But yeah, I'm not a massive fan of heading into the gym and sweating it out too much, as you can probably see. I much prefer to go in the players' lane and have a couple of pies.
Any final questions? No? Marcus, thank you very much for joining us today. Best of luck this week.
Cheers.